Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Amidst corruption in police, amidst corruption in home ministry, amidst policemen going to jail and amidst policemen going to courts and amidst all of this, 5 policemen lost their lives. 13 of them seriously injured in Chhattisgarh, in a district called Narayanpur. These policemen were traveling in a bus, and this bus ran over a landmine which was planted there by the Naxalites. This happened between Khanarpur and Khandenagar in Chhattisgarh in Narayanpur district. Shame on the ideology that believes in proving a point by killing people. Shame on the ideology that kills these police officers and men who are working for the state, who are working for the security of the people. Shame on such ideology. And shame on such people who promote such ideology, who justifies such ideology, who even defends such ideology. Shame on those people. My topic today is about the Chief Justice of India, Chief Justice Bobde. Chief Justice Bobde today recommended Mr. N.V. Ramanna as the next Chief Justice of India to the central government. Let's talk about Justice N.V. Ramanna. Let's get right into the show. Justice Bobde recommended Justice N.V. Ramanna. Now, Justice N.V. Ramanna also was the natural successor to Mr. Bobde's chair. He was a natural successor in terms of seniority, the way normally the Supreme Court Chief Justice is appointed. So, he was a natural successor. But the fact remains that Mr. N.V. Ramanna, Justice N.V. Ramanna, my apologies, was into a lot of controversies too. Because if you remember, Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, had sent an open letter to Chief Justice Bobde saying that Mr. Ramanna is corrupt. His daughters were given land by Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. Mr. Ramanna is very close to Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, working in the interest of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, and therefore causing a lot of harm for Mr. Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy. This is something that Mr. Reddy had written to the Chief Justice of India. Yet, Justice Bobde recommended Mr. N.V. Ramanna as the top boss, as the Chief Justice of India. Now, also interesting fact here is that Justice N.V. Ramanna was also part of one more very interesting decision. And that decision was concerning Maharashtra. When Shiva Sena, NCP and Congress filed a petition against the governor's move to install Bharatiya Janata Party government in Maharashtra, there was an interim order that was stated. And this interim order was by a 3-member bench headed by Mr. N.V. Ramanna. Now, this interim order said that a pro tem speaker shall be solely appointed for the aforesaid agenda immediately, and all the elected members shall take oath. Elected members and all the MLAs shall take oath on the 27/11/2019, and this exercise should be complete by 5 p.m. He said. The exercise should be complete by 5 p.m. And C, he said, immediately thereafter, the pro tem speaker shall conduct the floor test and order to ascertain whether the respondent number 3 has the majority, and these proceedings shall be conducted in accordance with the law. Respondent number 3 was Shiva Sena, and these proceedings shall be conducted in accordance with the law. The floor test will be conducted by a secret ballot. He also said that the proceedings should be telecasted live. So, in a way, he actually ruled in favor of the NCP, Shiva Sena and Congress, and against, to a certain extent, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the governor's decision in Maharashtra. Now, let me give you some interesting information. if Justice Ramanna becomes the Chief Justice of India, and if Justice Ramanna completes his term as Chief Justice of India, then he retires on the 26th of August 2022. So now if Justice Ramanna retires on 26th of August 2022, then Justice Nariman, who is supposed to retire on the 12th of August 2021, does not get a chance to be the Chief Justice. Neither does Justice Khanwilkar, who is supposed to retire on the 19th of July 2022. Justice UU Lalit will get a chance to be the Chief Justice of India, but he will get a chance for 2 months because his retirement is on the 8th of November 2022. So, technically speaking, except for the 2 months of Justice UU Lalit, if they go by seniority, after Mr. N.V. Ramanna, the next person who takes over as Chief Justice of India would be Justice Chandrachud. And he retires on the 9th of November, on the 10th of November, 2024. He retires on the 10th of November 2024. From the 9th of November, if he takes over in 2022, he has a run till 10th of November 2024. This is all assuming they go by seniority. The judges are appointed by seniority. The judges are appointed by the seniority and they complete their terms. If that happens, then after N.V. Ramanna, except for some time of Justice UU Lalit, Justice Chandrachud will have a long run. Now that's as far as the Supreme Court is concerned. One more point before I end the show. You see, there was another Chief Justice called Justice Gogoi. Justice Gogoi had become the MP, Member of Parliament, after he retired as Chief Justice of India. Mr. Ranjan Gogoi had said, "My presence in the Parliament will be an opportunity to project the views of the judiciary before the legislature and vice versa." He said, "I will be the opportunity to be that conduit between the judiciary and the legislature, and I can be the bridge," he had said. That is why it is so important that I go to the Rajya Sabha. Very good. Now I'll just tell you some basic facts. Mr. Ranjan Gogoi, former Chief Justice of India, has not asked one question in Rajya Sabha. And there was no special mention of him either in the Rajya Sabha. Mr. Ranjan Gogoi last year in 2020 attended Rajya Sabha on March 19th, the day he was sworn, and March 20th, the next day. After that, he has not attended Rajya Sabha. This year, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi attended the Rajya Sabha for one day, which is March 20th, 2021. I think he was celebrating the first anniversary of his Rajya Sabha entry or something. I don't know. Last time he was sworn in 19th of March. He attended 19th of March and 20th of March 2020, and now he attended 20th of March 2021. 3 days of attendance in 2 years. Now, another interesting factor is Mr. Ranjan Gogoi is given a Z plus security. He's given a Z plus VIP security. He is a Rajya Sabha MP who attended Rajya Sabha for 3 days. This is Mr. Ranjan Gogoi's opportunity to project the views of the judiciary before the legislature and vice versa. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.
Hello everyone. HW News English is 2 years old now. When we started this venture, we promised ourselves one thing, that news should remain free, because right to know is the right of every Indian. But to keep news free for everyone, we need support from some of you. And thus we have rolled out membership on our YouTube channel HW News English. But mind you, the membership is completely voluntary. The programs that we were doing earlier, that we are doing now, will continue to remain free. First level is a basic level. Here you can be our supporter by paying Rs 199 per month. This membership gives you certain perks and benefits. The perks include unique badges in front of your name, a live show from Mr. Sujit Nair and from Mr. Akhilesh Bhargava per month for our members. You can also vote in some exclusive members-only polls. Now the second level is Super Supporter. Here you can be our Super Supporter by paying rupees 3,999 per month. This membership will include every perk that comes with basic level. Additionally, our Super Supporters can be a part of a WhatsApp group where we can have discussions and suggestions on various topics. The second perk includes a gift pack with our merchandise. And the third perk is a Google Meet with Mr. Sujit Nair, where you can join the meet and ask your questions to Mr. Nair face to face. Lastly, if you like, we would give a shout out to our super supporters in our programs. So, hope to see you soon with our badges.
The emerging backbone of India's economy are our startups. They represent India's youth. They represent India's aspirations. They represent India's hopes. They represent our fight against an insensitive bureaucracy, against an insensitive system. They represent the fight of our startup entrepreneurs against an indifferent system, against an insensitive banker, against challenges of dealing with the government, and against all the odds with which they started a startup. Every startup begins with a brilliant idea, a unique idea, an idea which nobody else thought of, and that becomes a business enterprise. We are starting our next episode series on what we call Startup Stories. It is a curiosity to know what was that idea, what was the motivation, what was the determination because of which one talented entrepreneur, without any background of business perhaps, decided to venture out on his own and create a successful enterprise. These are the ideas that motivate us also. If you have a startup story which is interesting, we would want to talk to you also. Come back to us with your own startup stories, and you might also be the person we would like to talk to.